First week of shows, and it is feeling good. We are ready to go because the Kings are playing winning basketball for the first time in a long time. That just makes our lives a lot better. It feels good. We're excited about a beam that shoots through the sky. And we're more excited right now to bring on someone who's one of the OG of basketball podcasting. I mean, one of the best guys ever. You know him from back in the day with the Stars, Basketball Jones, but how about now with No Dunks? They are killing it on YouTube, and they've been giving a lot of love to Sacramento Kings for good reason.
Yes, they have.
Let's welcome him into the show for the very first time on the radio and this new opportunity. Skeets! What's up,
Yes.
Woo!
Can you guys hear me? Fingers crossed. This is
Yeah, we can. Can you hear us?
I can hear you perfectly. Congratulations.
Sounds good.
Congratulations on the new show here, and congratulations on hopefully successfully pulling off bringing somebody on the air with you.
Yes. No, this is a big deal. This is a big, Monday was a little bit chaotic. Well, we appreciate you being here, man. We got Kings Raptors tonight. Of course, you're a Raptors fan. We'll get to that. But dude, I'm eager to get your perspective. Of course, you guys watch basketball like all the time. I know you've been keeping an eye on what's happening in Sacramento. Are you surprised by what you've seen from the Kings this season?
I guess it's fair to say I'm a little surprised that they're the third seed in the Western Conference. We in the preseason on No Dunks, a part of the Athletic Network, were high on the Kings. I loved the moves of getting Herter, bringing in Monk, like adding some shooting around Fox and Sabonis. You know, the idea that Mike Brown could maybe help the defense. Like, you saw the promise there. But even I'll admit, I didn't see the third seed right now in the Western Conference. But we're loving it. I mean, they're also such a fun team to watch. Which, you know, helps, especially as someone who lives on the East Coast, to stay up and watch those West Coast games or to catch those highlights. They need to be entertaining, and it helps when they can win some games.
So then you've obviously, over these last couple of years, have seen so much of De'Aaron Fox. And I think you are one of the De'Aaron Fox truthers along with us, I believe. What have you seen from his game that has taken him to just another level?
Yes, I have always been a De'Aaron Fox truther. Proud to say that. For some reason, despite being Canadian and going to school in Canada, I do like a lot of the Kentucky guys. Big Booker fan, sort of before he, popped off. Jamal Murray, he's Canadian, that makes sense, and Fox right there. What has changed? Well, for sure, starting a season with Sabonis it has been huge. Going through a camp, having a new coach in Mike Brown, and then the two of them figuring out this 1-2 game. I know you guys have talked about the clip where they're even on ESPN on the show there with Malika Andrews, and they're like running through their stuff and the handoffs and the cutting back door. It's really cool to see. So he's got another star player that's a front court player that you can operate through. And I think he's just done a great job of, like, it's by no means my turn, your turn, but there's a lot of trust between these two superstars. And then him coming through in the clutch is like, I mean, he's like one of the best. Everybody knows this. It's like DeRozan, it's him, it's Jalen Brunson when it comes to like clutch time. It's a 5-point game, 5 minutes to go. And that's where maybe a lot of people, I remember Bill Simmons always getting on De'Aaron Fox's case. It's like, oh, this guy's execution at the end of games is a little rough. He's completely gotten rid of that. You trust him with your life. And I also think he's committed to playing defense a little bit harder. And I know there's still room for improvement with the Kings as a defensive unit and going up in defensive rating. But the trying is there, and this guy has always had the skills to be an elite perimeter defender with his speed and size and and his smarts. So I think it's just all coming together, and it helps when you start winning games and you start playing a little freer and a little more loose, I think.
I am also excited for the basketball world, who maybe forgot that like Sacramento fans are pretty insane, to feel that again. Like, the beam has been awesome. The fans have been insane. You watch a Kings game, it's a show. Like, it could be a Tuesday night against Charlotte. That place is going to be sold out and people are into the game. There's just certain markets around the NBA who just, it's more than just an event. You go to some places, it's like, it's just, it's a fun thing for people to do. Sure. They just hang out, maybe not into the game. Kings fans are into the game, and I think that adds to it too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, they're desperate for a winning product, and it sure helps if the team is fun to watch too. And a lot of these guys on the team are fun to root for and cheer for. I was thinking about this before I jumped on with you guys. I sort of see a lot of similarities to when the Raptors launched their "We the North" slogan back in like 2013, 14. I remember the Raptors like rolled that out in February of that year, and it sort of came out of nowhere, and then people like latched onto it. teams started winning. Raps hadn't made the playoffs in like, 5 or 6 seasons. So it had been a bit of a drought. I know nothing compared to Kings fans, but it had been a drought. And it just exploded. And like that became, and they still run with We the North. And that's the hashtag. And they're selling the merch. And it just becomes like this rallying cry. Light the beam. I mean, I honestly, like, I think that's sort of the version right now. And hopefully that, like it did with the Raptors, they made the playoffs that year, went through some growing pains in the playoffs, but then made a conference finals, obviously kept running into LeBron, eventually go on to win a championship. But like, hopefully the start here with the light the beam, and maybe there's some similarities to getting in the playoffs, getting the reps, and continuing to improve.
You understand, out of all people, the importance of the community and like the community rallying behind something that makes sense, that gets people going. And that's what's been so crazy about this light beam. It was organic, it was fun. And then you had Kevin Herter coming out and being like, we the beam team, or hashtag beam team, and so everyone's coming around it. What I'll ask you about that then, did you notice the players rallying behind that back with the Raptors as well, We the North, or was it just like the fans and everyone else? Because what we're seeing here in Sacramento is truly the players in this entire organization has also really bought into the beam team.
Yeah, I think that it goes hand in hand, right? I do think the fans sort of drive the players. As much as we say, oh, it's just a business, they just do it for the paycheck. That's not true. Like, when there's energy in the building, when there is obviously support, and this is the Kings. I want to make this very clear. The Kings, despite not making the playoff for 16 years, is a diehard loyal fan base. You know this, you guys, better than anyone. Like that, it just wouldn't. I'm trying to think of other cities and teams if they had this futility. Is there really the support there? I mean, like, I doubt it. I doubt it in a lot of places. So, credit to Kings fans for still.
I don't know if that's a good thing that you just kind of accept it. And you're just like, we suck, but hey, we still go to games because it's all we have, man. You know?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's a part of it, but anyway, like, that rallying cry, that support, I think it then does drive the players. And the Kings, like, I don't want to speak for these players, but I'm sure they would love to be a part of the team that snaps that streak. One of the worst playoff droughts across all sports. Like, of course you want to be that. And, again, I see the similarities. I remember that was like around when Lowry came to the Raptors. Like, he was there a year or two before that. And like Elvin Williams, who had played on like the previously sort of talented Raptors team, is like, you make this playoffs. If you get this team in the playoffs, you're going to be a hero in this city. Like, you'll never have to buy a beer again. Like, it's like, that's how people are. They're so desperate just for playoff basketball. So yeah. Sorry, my dog's going crazy behind me. Luna, what are you doing?
Oh, Luna's fired up. You said Kings in the beam, and I think Luna got amped up.
Holy.
You're good, man. It's all good. So the Sabonis trade was almost a year ago now, and I know you remember kind of the discourse once that trade happened. I think Jacoby and Jalen asked if the league should investigate because of the move. But we like JJ Redick, but JJ was a little over the top too with it. They acted as if they traded for Arvydas Sabonis today. I'm curious your perspective now that we're almost a year later following that trade, and has Sabonis maybe even surpassed your expectations for what he's been able to do? Almost playing at like an all NBA level right now.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to be in the conversation for a second or third all NBA spot there. If he can maintain this, and he should be an all-star. Hopefully Fox gets there too. But I swerved on everyone when that trade went down because I have a tweet out there. It could come back to bite me in the butt, but I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, I was a Halliburton fan and still am, but I was like, I didn't realize Halliburton was a 10-time all-star here. Like, people were reacting like, what? And I get it. Young, and he is impressive. He might be an all-star this year, so maybe he does go on to make 10 all-star teams. But my point with that was Sabonis is really, really good. And I don't think a lot of people knew that at the time, sort of where he was in the landscape of the NBA, playing for the Pacers. And, he was an all-star, but he's not like the flashy all-star, right? But he's basically Jokic light. He really is. Like how he can you can run everything through him, the offense and stuff like that. And he can do it all, and he's comfortable. He's strong as an ox. And I was like, this is a good trade. It made sense too. Yeah. And it's worked out well, of course, for the Pacers. And I think here for the Kings. I just hope with the Kings right now, knock on wood, they're healthy. Everybody is out there.
Yeah.
I almost don't even want to say that word because they probably are one of the healthiest teams in the league. Like when you look at like their starting five all year long, like not a lot of missed games, which is great. And that just helps everybody settle into their role. Like they know the starting five, they know the couple guys coming off the bench, and that helps win a lot of games, I think.
Yeah.
I also think with like the Sabonis Halliburton thing, Halliburton is just so good with the media, right?
Yeah.
Like he's super fun to watch. He's very emotional out there.
Charismatic.
He's dropping amazing passes. He can
Mhm.
shoot it. It's like a sexy style. I mean, I think Sabonis is pretty sexy myself too. But
There you go.
Sabonis is not like when he talks to media, it's like 3 minutes. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, just very excited to be here, blah, blah, blah. He is just focused on basketball. I think part of it is like there's a little more to Tyrese Halliburton, like the entertainer too. And so I think he gets more love than Sabonis, who's just like, I'm kind of this boring guy who just likes playing basketball.
Well, you guys, but I also think too, like he had the reputation in Indiana as like, why isn't it working with Miles Turner and Domas Sabonis? Oh, look at Sabonis get angry and not like what the officials are calling. Oh, he can't play any defense, you know? And I think people don't give credit to different situations really elevating so many different players, right, around the league. Like I even look at everything going on with Rui Hachimura right now, and it's like he's a solid player. Now, is LeBron James going to make him better in Los Angeles, or is it just a weird positional thing that you don't know what the fit's going to be? Either way, like this guy is going to get this chance to show off a different parts of his talent. And I think Sabonis was able to do that in Sacramento. But Jay, I want to talk about from your perspective, your outside perspective of the Sacramento Kings in the Western Conference right now. I know we didn't have these expectations of them being in the top 3, but they're there right now. As you're seeing these teams like the Lakers, you know, getting Rui, AD's coming back, and then you have the Pelicans with Brandon Ingram coming back. Are you feeling like we're going to be brought back down to earth in Sacramento?
I mean, look, it's possible because we've said this on our podcast a couple times now. You can play poorly for about 7 to 10 days in the Western Conference, and you could drop 5 spots, 6 spots. I mean, it's crazy, like how close all these teams are. And it's not like the Kings are like 10 games clear of like, you know, teams behind them in the 4th, 5th, 6th spot, especially with some of these teams coming back. But they like what I love about the Kings, which is the opposite of my Toronto Raptors right now, is like the Kings have an identity. It is, we are going to outscore you, and we are going to hopefully put together enough stops across 48 minutes. But we believe with our star, especially Fox in the clutch, that we're just going to outscore you. And that's their identity. And I always think you do need to have that in this league. Are we a defensive minded team? Do we force turnovers? Are we a 3-point shooting team? Like, what do we hang our hat on at the end of the day? I don't think the Kings will be the 3rd seed at the end of the season. I will say that. Man, if they are hosting game 1 to end that drought, like, well, that place will be unreal. I might have to fly out to Sacramento.
No.
To see that.
We had people in our chat talking about that. We know you guys at No Dunks will be in Salt Lake City for All-Star Weekend.
Right.
I mean, you may have to make a Sacramento trip. You may have to see the beam in person, man.
Hey, look, I know we've got a small budget, but we have a budget. We got to pick and choose where we want to go to make some content. But yeah, that would be a blast. But I think I'll put it this way. I think the Kings will not be in the play-in. I think they will be in the legit playoffs, which I really pray for, because I don't want them in the play-in and then people to go, well, that's snapped the playoff streak. And it's like, well, hold on, did it if they didn't even get in after the play? You know, all that stuff. So I think top 6, and I do think that's where they will fall at the end of the year.
So I think we all agree Sabonis for sure, a lock for the All-Star team.
Sure.
Where are you at with De'Aaron and the All-Star? He's trying to get in there for the first time. Do you think he has a shot?
I definitely think he has a shot. I think it's much more difficult at being a guard in the Western Conference than it is a forward. And that's like, not to say that Sabonis wouldn't be in there anyway if there was like more talented forwards in the West, but you know, we know the starters are going to be announced tomorrow night. And it's going to be Curry and Luka at the guard position. And then it's very light. Well, I feel like right there with Fox, maybe a little ahead, SGA, John Morant.
Yeah.
The Damian Lillard is like a huge one. It's like, you know, he obviously has the numbers. He's got the history. He's been to a lot of all-star teams, but his team's not great. But the coaches select this, so that always worries me. it's like it's right there to me, right? It's like sort of, and then Devin Booker missed a bunch of time, but obviously is so talented. I think Fox ultimately makes the team, but my gut says it's going to be like he's going to be the first injury replacement.
That's fine. It still counts.
I think
right?
that's what's going to happen.
You guys, it does count.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike
Oh, it
Conley
counts,
happened
for
to
sure.
Mike Conley.
Yeah. Well, happened. Yeah, it's happened to other guys. I mean,
I mean,
it happened to
so many other
Sabonis
guys,
in Indiana. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you. It
Yeah.
absolutely counts.
Yeah.
No one goes, yeah, but he was an injury
That's my
replacement. If
point.
you are, you're just taking a shot at someone. Just take a shot at someone. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I think it's more likely as an injury replacement if he makes the team. So Raptors Kings tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the Raptors lacking an identity. What's going on? Because you see it on paper, and you're like, oh, Siakam, he's really good.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes, he's got talent. You could see a young guy with a lot of talent there. You got Fred VanVleet. What's going on with this group?
The biggest thing is the defense just fell off a cliff. I mean, that was the Raptors' identity. They were the team, I think, that nobody wanted to play. On a Wednesday night, it was like, oh man, this team's going to switch everything. They got all these athletic guys running around. Nick Nurse is sort of a defensive genius. Like, this is going to be a nightmare. And like, that's how they ended last season. I think they finished on a 25-11 run to end the season, top 5 defense, and basically everyone back. And now they're like 20th. And it's like, they're not the Raptors, the opposite of the Kings, can't shoot. Can't score. It's a bit of a slog in the half-court set, despite having Siakam and VanVleet. Like, these guys are great players. They're really, really good players, but it's tough. We don't have a lot of shooting on the Raps. So that's the biggest thing. It's like the defense doesn't keep them in enough games. And it's been a really disappointing year for Raps fans, for sure. Because a lot of people coming in were like, oh, yeah, this will be a 50-win team. Like, no doubt. They got all their pieces back, but got off to a slow start. Siakam got injured. Precious was injured. It's like, VanVleet was injured. They're like excuses, but there's a weird vibe around this team. And I don't know if all these trade rumors have like gotten to them, and will OG be moved? Will VanVleet be moved? Will Gary Trent Jr. be moved? My gut says, yeah, one of them as we, get closer to the deadline. That's what I think.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
I was like, when are the Raptors trading OG to Sacramento?
No. Wow. Here's a problem because, I can't deal with Masai. He's going to try to work you.
Good.
Yeah.
It scares the hell out of me. It's like,
Yeah.
I think you'd want Keegan Murray in that deal. And I as someone who watches the Kings and roots for the Kings, I'm like, I don't want to give up Keegan Murray in a deal. Just keep it here.
But Monty did do a good job on the Hawks getting Kevin Herter out of them.
Sure. That's not Masai Ujiri.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Masai's going to get the beam from you guys if they trade. He's like, suddenly the
he's
Raptors love
ruthless.
the beam. He'll be like, whoa, how'd they get that?
Could you imagine? Would you give up the beam to get OG as a part of the deal? I don't know if you make that deal.
If that was a real thing,
yeah.
Okay, I say yes.
He
I would
comes
give
over,
up the beam for OG.
He uninstalls it and they take it.
Wow.
Just take it away.
I like OG, but I don't think you give up the beam.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think. Well, I mean, you guys would know better. I don't really see the Kings making a move. I know Harrison Barnes' name is always thrown around, but he's on fire now. And I think once you, hopefully, I don't want to jinx anything, get into the playoffs, to have any chance to like put up a fight and win even a series, you need Harrison Barnes. You're going to need a vet like that. That's got a chip, been through a million series to help probably like go to him. When, hey, we need a bucket here. We need to slow things down. Like, get to the line or something like that. So, I just don't think the Kings are probably going to be all that active. I wouldn't think at the deadline.
Yeah, maybe a smaller move, but I mean, I like what they have right now. And you mentioned Harrison Barnes. He leads the NBA in made 3-pointers this month. I mean, and he's been super efficient doing it, shooting 53% from 3. He's been massive for this team. So with the Raptors, you mentioned VanVleet. He's got an expiring deal. It seems like Trent could be on the outs. What about like OG and Siakam? Do you feel like a deal gets done for those guys, or is that something that maybe they address down the road?
I think OG is a strong possibility. Yeah, especially with like the package. By all accounts, that there was talk of like they would expect the Donovan Mitchell like sort of draft capital back. I thought that was crazy. Like OG is good. He's not that good. Like he's not Mitchell like superstar level. But now is it 3 first-round picks? Is it 2 first-round picks and like promising young players? I could see it. There's rumors now that he's unhappy and that, OG doesn't really say anything. Like he's very, very quiet, but behind the scenes, is he frustrated? I don't know. But by some reporting, he is. I could see them moving off him because you have Barnes. I wouldn't trade Siakam. I mean, that guy's an all NBA guy. When he's out there and healthy. So of all of the moves, I was sort of like, I could see OG the most likely just because the return he could get. And then I think I go Gary Trent Jr. next and then Van Vliet. That would be my order of like the likelihood of Masai moving these pieces.
I heard you guys talking about NBA rivalry week either yesterday or this morning on No Dunks. And so for you, is there a big rivalry in the NBA right now?
Is there a big like? I mean, anyone the Grizzlies are playing right now is a bit of a fun rivalry.
That's what I said.
Yeah, because they're getting under a lot of people's skin. We had a video, we did like a little YouTube clip that sort of went viral because it was them dancing right before games, and they're doing this little Antonio Brown dance and like looking cocky, they're having fun, whatever. But so many people are like, you haven't won anything yet, you guys act like you're the champs, and like, it's like, whoa. So there is a distaste for the Grizzlies, and we've seen it at least rear its ugly head in a couple of these games. So yeah, I mean, I like having. I mean, well, you guys are wrestling fans. I feel like that's fair to say. You got the Royal Rumble this Saturday.
It's this Saturday.
Yeah.
Can you believe the road to WrestleMania is going to be here? Could we get Austin against Roman Reigns? Could be a possibility. There was some talk about that. Could The Rock? He's saying he's too busy, but could he make time
what have I done?
to go
I was
against
gonna
the
say,
tribal
J.E., look
chief
what you've done
in LA?
That's my fault. That's my fault.
It's okay.
You need a sign up though that Deuce can be pointing at the WrestleMania sign.
Exactly.
Yes.
J.E., seriously, we can't thank you enough for the time. That's what's the one thing that sucks about radio is like, you have to break.
Let's break.
But seriously, thank you so much, man. Keep up the great work on No Dunks. We love listening and watching all the time, and hopefully there's a chance we see you in Sacramento at some point. But thank you so much, man.
You're the best.
Absolutely, and congratulations again. And we'll be watching from over here.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
J.E. Skeets from No Dunks. He is the best.
The best.
And also